going, everybody? So we have a fun review today as we're finally talking Deadpool and Wolverine. The wait is finally over. And I have to be honest, even though I have mostly enjoyed Marvel's recent projects, this is probably the most excited I've been for any Marvel project post-Avengers Endgame, other than maybe Spider-Man No Way Home. When Deadpool's homeworld faces an existential threat, the TVA recruit him to help safeguard the multiverses, leading him to reluctantly suit up once more alongside an even more reluctant Wolverine. Now, as many of us are well aware, there's a lot riding on Deadpool and Wolverine. It's our introduction to Deadpool into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's our only MCU film the entire year, on top of the fact that we are reintroducing Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine after that perfect send-off he had back in Logan. And yet, despite all that pressure, they managed to make this movie pure MCU perfection. It's honestly tough finding the words to describe how much fun the experience this adventure is following Deadpool and Wolverine across the multiverse. I mean, I expected to have a pretty great experience overall, but it exceeded my expectations, considering they hid quite a lot from the marketing storyline-wise, where exactly they visit, and all of the different people they run into along this multiversal adventure. Right off the bat, let's talk about the two stars of the film. For so many years, we've been teased by Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman about them finally coming together properly as Deadpool and Wolverine. We're gonna just ignore X-Men Origins Wolverine just entirely. I'm so happy to say that these two together on screen was phenomenal. The chemistry between them during this team-up is perfect. They bounce off each other so well, and I completely bought into their arcs for their characters' journeys. At this point, Hugh Jackman has been playing Wolverine for over 20 plus years, and admittedly, I am still not tired of him playing the character. I love him as Wolverine, and he continues to be amazing with his performance here. I like that he brings a lot of different qualities to this interpretation of Wolverine, but still having the core essence to the character that we all know and love. You can definitely tell he had a lot of fun bringing new, different elements to this new version of the character. And that's besides the fact that after all of these years, he finally dons the Wolverine costume that we all want him to wear. Out of this Deadpool trilogy of films, I think this might be my overall favorite outing that Ryan Reynolds has done as the character Deadpool. Aside from the humor aspect, they pack a lot of emotion and heart into his arc, adding some elements in from his past to pack on the emotions, or why exactly he's doing everything with the help from the TVA and Wolverine that honestly kind of got me in my feelings a little bit. Of course, now that Deadpool is a Disney property, I was nervous that they were going to keep things in line tonally with both Deadpool 1 and 2, and they absolutely crushed it. In a lot of different ways, they ramped up all the things that we loved from those two original films. From an action standpoint, they ramped up the amazing blood-soaked mayhem, and really go for it for these action sequences involving Deadpool and Wolverine. Out of all the different films, including Logan, this is probably the most violent entry out of the series. They really went there for the gore in this. Humor by and large is very subjective, but to me at least, more often than not, the jokes did land. Not everything landed, but a lot of the time I did think the humor overall was pretty hysterical. Deadpool, by and large, has the best lines of the entire movie. It was impressive how much they pushed the limits on the fourth wall breaking, taking many jabs at the MCU, Disney, and a lot of things at Fox's expense. That isn't to say the entire movie is just a bunch of Fox bashing, because more often than not, it feels like a love letter to all of the things that came before from the X-Men franchise, from the places that Deadpool and Wolverine travel to through the multiverse, and a plethora of different cameos. Which, speaking of the cameos, to me at least, they felt a lot better integrated compared to the cameos that we saw back in something like Multiverse of Madness. I still was hyped by the multitude of surprise characters they packed into this film, but I appreciated that many of the cameos were here to enhance the story all around, and weren't solely just integrated into the movie to have big, fun, hype moments to cheer about in the theater. On top of the fact, it was a nice surprise that a large amount of these cameos were not spoiled in the marketing. They did spoil some of them down the line, unfortunately, you know, like Dogpool, Lady Deadpool, Sabretooth, X-23. All I will say, though, about the cameos that we didn't see in the trailers, a lot of them are pretty amazing. I think you're going to be surprised at some of the ones that you haven't seen yet. I will say, though, don't go into Deadpool and Wolverine expecting a complicated story around the fun. It thankfully rides the line well, being a Deadpool story as much as a Wolverine story, while doing a solid job integrating Deadpool into the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe. Some of the plot threads here are pretty thin. It's not trying to break any new ground either with the story it's trying to tell, but it's such an immensely entertaining time that I wasn't really that bothered by some of the thin parts of the story. Unfortunately, one of those thinner parts probably is the villain themselves, Cassandra Nova. I think Emma Corrin did a great job as the character. Probably the best of the three villains in the Deadpool trilogy. As far as the overall conversation for the film goes, I think they are going to be overshadowed a lot by all the talk of the multiversal cameos, along with Deadpool and Wolverine themselves. themselves. Overall, Deadpool and Wolverine completely delivers on all fronts for the MCU. It's action-packed, perfectly balances heart and hilarious moments, and the two knockout performances from both Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman makes this one of the most entertaining movies you can go see in theaters right now. I also have to mention the fact that this movie has an amazing soundtrack. Bye 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 by NSYNC was used beautifully in the film. And as someone that's a big K-pop fan, I have to mention the fact that I was excited that Stray Kids has a song on the soundtrack, and it's a good song. As a longtime Marvel fan overall, this movie left me smiling from ear to ear, and I cannot wait to see where we go next with these characters. Personally, I can't wait to see more of Deadpool in the MCU. I know it's still on the fence on what exactly we're going to do with Wolverine in the MCU, especially the stuff revolving around Hugh Jackman, but I would even be down for more Hugh Jackman in the MCU just because of how great he was in this. But once you get a chance to check out Deadpool and Wolverine, make sure you share your thoughts down below. What'd you think of the film? Did you like the film? Did you not like the film? Show your thoughts down below, because the fun is that conversation with you guys in the comments section. Thank you guys, as always, check out the videos. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.